Hey guys, welcome. This is a general reading for the collective of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Welcome Libra, welcome cross watchers. If you're new to the channel, welcome as well. Let me tell you what to expect from this particular reading. This whole series of readings is dedicated to Pluto changing signs out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, which occurred March 23rd. About 8:30 in the morning, I think, here on the east coast of the US. So you'd have to check your location on the planet for the exact date and time that it occurred for you. But you have all been asking for transit readings. I did the first half of March's readings were all about Saturn moving into Pisces, because that was a big transit. March is a big month. And this is Pluto moving into Aquarius's time. So I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about this. If you're not interested in the education on Pluto and Aquarius, just move your little cursor ahead and get to the reading somewhere around 5 minutes in. Okay, so Pluto's a generational planet. This transit has not occurred, meaning the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was in the 18th century. 1777 is what I have read. So French Revolution, American War of Independence, the rise of classical music, the development of the first theories of black holes out in space. So you can see that there's evolutionary growth when Pluto's in Aquarius. So that's the last time he was in Aquarius. None of us will ever have a Pluto return. It takes 240 to 48 years for Pluto to move all the way around the sun. So that being said, he's in a sign for about 20 years. So as a generational planet, what does that mean? Those of you who are millennials who were born between 1983 and 1995 all have Pluto in Scorpio. So somewhere in the next 20 years, you will have what's called a Pluto square. Okay, it's geometric square. Floor meets wall. Inanimate objects meeting together, lots of resistance. For those of you boomers born between 1939 and 1958, you all have Pluto in Leo, and Leo is right across the zodiac wheel from Aquarius. So at some point in the next 20 years, depending on what degree you have Pluto in Leo, you will have what's referred to as your Pluto opposition. So we do have squares and oppositions for Pluto, but never a Pluto return. Thank heaven. So that's just the way to think about it. And Pluto moving into Aquarius impacts us as a collective more than it does individual, like our personal planets, like Mars and Mercury and Venus, right? Those impact us on a daily basis. But I thought you would be interested to see how it might show up in relationships. So that's what we're talking about. The archetype of Pluto himself represents how you transform and regenerate, because Pluto can be destructive and things get torn down. But then we have the opportunity to build them back, to have renewal, have rebirth. So there's very much a phoenix rising from the ashes energy we get from Pluto. Pluto rules everything under the surface. Subconscious forces is referred to as the Lord of the Underworld for that reason, and represents endings and new beginnings. Let's talk about Aquarius. So Aquarius happens to be ruled now by the planet Uranus. Once upon a time, he was ruled by Saturn. It's a whole other story. Uranus was discovered. And Uranus is a very unpredictable planet. So Aquarian energy is sort of ruled by this expect the unexpected. Anything can happen and probably will. So Pluto's going to take on that disposition, that general behavioral energy. And there may be a lot of surprises on the horizon for us. Some could be pleasant and some not so much. But think about the Aquarian archetypes of they're freedom loving, right? They don't want to be trapped in the predictable universe of this reality. They're always looking beyond, and especially for the collective. The archetype of the water bearer is interesting for Aquarius, because when we finally get the first 6 signs of the zodiac, Aries through Virgo, are all interpersonal, right? It's all about within us. And that 6th sign, being Virgo, is about our inner sense of service to others. It isn't till we get to the 11th house, so the 7th through the 12th are all intrapersonal. It isn't until we get to the 11th house, which Aquarius rules, that Aquarius says, I've got to go out and find a way to save humanity, and discovers water. So that's the story of the water bearer. And if you think about it, Pluto moving into Aquarius means we're going to be looking at equal opportunities for the collective, progress for the collective, technology advancements, ideas, innovations, individualism being highlighted. And guess what? We're not there yet. Okay? The Pluto in Capricorn, which is structure, rules, patriarchy, is hanging on to the ledge of the building for dear life. And so it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. Pluto moved in, as I said, to Aquarius March 23rd, where he sits at 0 degrees, just kind of resonating and vibrating there like a seismic Geiger counter. And he's going to turn around in May, and then June 11th, he dips back into Aquarius, goes back a couple degrees, turns around, heads back to Aquarius, hangs out there for a little bit, turns around, goes back to Capricorn. So he's doing this crisscrossing for about the next 18 months. For the purposes of this reading, I'm only interested from now through June 11th. So this is definitely date and time specific, because it's like a peek in the window. It's a sound check. I heard one astrologer call it a sound check, and I love that metaphor, where you go into the venue before the concert starts and the musicians are there, tap, 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 testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. You got the guitar riffs, you got the drummer doing a couple of things, and you get an excited flavor of what's to come. That's what we're looking at. Okay? Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to be looking at this for you and your relationships. And woof, we start with the 2 of Swords. Okay. So you may come to cross purposes throughout this little period of time. You may have to go inward for some searching for clarity about an important decision you have to make. It's crossroads energy for you here, Libra. We have the first row will be Aquarian influences. The second row, oh my gosh, is Pluto's influences. Oh, I love this. And the last row, oh my gosh, these cards came out in the morning musing. These exact cards came out in the morning musing. Wow. For those of you in the channel membership or who have the all access pass to all the extendeds, you know what you're looking at. Wow. We're looking at the connection here in general. And let's see what's on the bottom. 3 of Pentacles. It's interesting the 3 of Pentacles is on the bottom, because that talks about something more cooperative, where there's co-creative energy, where you're kind of all bought in. You're bought in on the same level, meaning, yeah, we think we have something good here. Let's build on it. We shall see. First row, so I'm pretty much the first 2 rows, I'm looking past, present, future. This Chariot feels like there was some kind of, I'm feeling like there's a bit of an escape pattern here. The Chariot's either moving toward or away from something, usually always for your highest good. Sometimes we have to move away from things that don't serve us. I'm saying that because when I look here, I've got the 5 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. Not the greatest of energy. So I feel in the past there's been something that was very defeating, and it was like you were like, hell no, I am not going down with the ship. I'm out of here. And now there's some sort of sense of apprehension. What's to come? And therefore you will be moving forward very slowly, very methodically, very cautiously, and with a plan. So I do feel that at some point you either got away from something that wasn't serving you or moved towards something you thought would serve you, and now you're kind of like, I'm a little bit nervous, I'm a little verklempt, so I'm just going to take my time. I'm going to be very clear about this, very intentional, which is why this Two of Swords is here. Now, Pluto's influence in the past, Five of Swords, right? There was kind of some sabotage afoot, something you may have perceived as a betrayal, but it was very defeating. It's definitely zero-sum game kind of energy that you were contending with, and it could have been based on maybe a choice you thought was good and ended up coming back to bite you. But right now, Pluto says you're done with that. Offload that negative, heavy karma. And moving forward, we have the beautiful Lovers card, which can be a card of reunion, but it's always a card of choice. And sometimes we choose to come home to ourselves. So I want you to keep that in mind, because we do have Emperor down here. So in the connection, I see this very difficult, karmic, painful situation, and then up pops the Emperor. So we're looking at karmic partner versus divine masculine here. And I almost feel like you're not sure. You know, like Dorothy says, are you a good witch or a bad witch? Well, you may have that question right now. So let's go ahead and clarify. Two of Swords. There's a Chariot again. I'll understand a little better when I get over here, but I'm feeling like you are seeing something very clearly. That Ace of Swords is a gift from Spirit. It's that aha moment. It's a truth bomb, something that's revealed instantly. And it feels to me like you're trying to make a decision about how to move on. The meaning and the purpose of that decision, and then the best way to pull it off. And underneath is this Five of Cups, which is kind of coming through as a lot of water under the bridge here, and energies of sadness and disappointment and loss and grief. And when I pull from the bottom of the deck, for those of you who are new, I'm tapping into unconscious awareness or something playing out behind the scenes. So I'm feeling an unconscious awareness. This is something that really, really hurt. And it's left you kind of devastated. And so now you've got this clarity about something coming through very clearly. And you're like, well, now I got to make a decision. And I feel like your decision is sort of one of, do I stay or do I go? So let's look at the Chariot in the past. That will give us a clue. Right. Ugh. I don't think you did move on. I think you kind of avoided it because you took a leap for love. You took a leap for love. And so while the Chariot knew better and said you really don't belong here, you probably avoided that and stayed and dealt with something that felt a little bit like, I don't know if I can trust this person. And of course we have the evidence. So I'm feeling like the Chariot here in the past was that moment where you probably knew on some conscious level that if I'm going to get out, I got to get out now. And I don't think you did. And that's why the Chariot's back now. And the Two of Swords is here. And like you're now, like now I see crystal clear. And I've already experienced the sadness and the grief and the loss in the past, because Five of Cups is always backwards facing. It's always looking at the past. So now, no wonder you're a little anxious and apprehensive. And so let's look at the Moon with the Knight of Pentacles, which is perfect. It's like, don't do anything rash. Sort it out. Oh my goodness. I still think you're kind of in this energy of, well, maybe we could have a reconciliation. Maybe we can have this coming back together. We've got the Four of Cups, which was also in the Morning Musing, which talks about disappointment, disenchantment, and maybe you're feeling, well, we can close out this difficult, sad chapter and have a new beginning. So I'm still seeing that, like the Aquarian influence that's coming through here is where you are overriding your instincts. The moon is our instincts. You're overriding them, thinking that maybe if I just go slow and if I'm very cautious and very intentional, there's an opportunity for reconciliation and a new beginning and closing out an old cycle. So I don't think you've made the decision yet. Okay? That's why you're at a crossroads moment. Wow, this is very specific. It's coming through like a personal reading for somebody who's probably sitting there going, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's look at the 5 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Pluto's influence here. Yeah, I said this morning that I felt it was possible, but it was too small a ring, possible that there could have been a breach of trust in a marriage or in a committed relationship. Sometimes the Queen of Wands comes through as a karmic partner. So I'm feeling like you're waiting, you're anticipating the opportunity to offload this heavy energy. And that Hierophant underneath is suggesting that you really need to center yourself, really be true to yourself. That is a card of conventional committed relationship, but it's talking about your beliefs around it. What do you stand for when it comes to that topic? What's going to fly and what's not? And I'm feeling like you feel very defeated and you're ready and waiting to offload all this heavy energy of some potential breach of trust in your connection. You don't necessarily have to have been married, but I'm feeling it was a pretty solid relationship. We're not talking about a dating scenario here. So now we have the Lovers card. There's your 2 of Swords. Oh, Libra. Bookends of the Lovers. Okay, so Pluto's giving you a lot of wiggle room here, right? Temperance says self-control and restraint. Just be patient. Have the wisdom to know that in time, all energies come into flow and balance, right? Homeostasis. And here you are with this important decision to make, and you got the Lovers on either side. And as I said in the beginning, Lovers is always a card of choice. And you now know you're reaching a crossroads moment where you have to choose. And you're choosing yourself, right? Or you're choosing this connection, and it's a very important decision to make because there's been so much havoc wreaked here already. So Temperance says, no rush. Give it time. All will be revealed. It's already showing up. You just got to give yourself some time. Notice with Temperance, she has 1 foot on the earth and 1 foot in the water. So this is going to be an emotional kind of rolling waves in the sea, but 1 foot stays on the ground to keep you anchored and grounded while you sort of allow the emotions to move through you and not acting on them in the moment. Wow. So let's look at the 3 of Swords. In the past, yeah, I'm really thinking this was a committed relationship of some sort. Knight of Swords, King of Pentacles, and High Priestess. You have something you want to say to this person, this King of Pentacles, who's the Emperor. You have something you want to say. I'm feeling some anger here, right? He's looking at that 3 of Swords. And I'm feeling like that's your energy, that you're feeling this sense of, I need to say something. I need to speak truth to power. I see this ish very clearly And I'm making an important decision, and I kind of need to speak my piece. And with the High Priestess underneath is telling me that you're really operating on intuition. You're really trying to stay as connected to your higher self as possible, as connected to the divine for guidance as possible. And that you may be in a phase of separation from this person. There may be no communication, but you definitely have something you want to say. And now I see the Devil and the Emperor. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? I'm not a witch at all. Yeah, Dorothy didn't say it. Someone said it to her. Oh, yeah, guys, look. King and Queen of Pentacles. We're talking about life partnership here. So this is definitely not a dating scenario. This is a committed relationship. There's justice. That's your card, Libra. There's the Three of Pentacles that we had right here. And I'm feeling like you've got to determine if you have something that's workable. Just so we're clear, it feels to me like the Devil is coming through. And since we have the Emperor on the other end, as you may be dealing with somebody who's very controlling. Very controlling. Their way or the highway. And you don't get a lot of say, which is why I'm feeling this is your energy. So it's important to keep in mind that the Devil isn't always anything nefarious. Sometimes it's just shadow, ego, fear, control, manipulation. And if you're feeling manipulated, I'm here to tell you that balance will not return. That balance will not return on its own. You will have to make a decision. You will have to take a stand. Hierophant. You will have to be true to yourself and make a choice. Lovers. I know it's not the easiest reading. None of these are. That's the point. Pluto is not, Pluto's not gentle about it. Especially coming out of Capricorn. Well, here we go. We got rules, rigidity, limitations, structure, the patriarchy, my way or the highway, tyrants. So they don't go quietly into the good night. they hang in there for a while. Let me pull one card here for the Emperor just to get a little bit more of a feeling. Ooh, okay. So I'm feeling there's some communication. Wow, wow, wow. I'm glad I did that. When you're dealing with this person, I feel as if they keep you at arm's length. That's part of the Devil, right? Like, I'm going to control the whole situation. Part of the archetype, and this is Aquarius, by the way, part of the archetype of the King of Swords is, I'm not going to tell you what I'm thinking. It's very strategic. So they can often be cool, distant, aloof, not approachable. But it seems to me like part of the strategy for this person, and I'm looking at their energy right now, is they want to have a conversation. And your energy here underneath that 10 of Cups is all about, well, I just want us to be happy. So I think they're strategizing. They're in control of the communication about the future, about your future happiness, about coming through this with, you know, a happily ever after outcome. So I'm not saying that it isn't possible. I'm saying it's appearing to not be under your control at this moment. So what I want to do is tell you the astrology that showed up here, but I also want you to know there is a link in this description box below in the very first sentence, and I'm going into the extended and I'm going to read all about this person. So we're going to see the Aquarian influences showing up for them, the Pluto's influences showing up for them, and then this third row will be their intentions toward you and the connection going forward. Like, what do they really have up their sleeve? Because this person seems to be very much in control of everything. And you're seeing that now very clearly. So, astrologically, we have the Chariot, not once but twice. That's Cancerian energy. By the way, Mars just moved into Cancer today. Out of Gemini after 7 months, into Cancer. The Fool is Aquarius. And so, by the way, Mars moving into Cancer dredges up a lot of emotions that we've kind of repressed or suppressed over the past many months. So the Fool, as I said, is Aquarius. The Moon here is Pisces. We've got the World is Saturn, Aquarius, and Capricorn. Virgo in the Knight of Pentacles, right? Details. Queen of Wands is Aries. We have a lot of energy in Aries right now. We have a stellium in Aries. This is Taurus. That's where the North Node is hanging out right now. Lovers is here twice. That's Gemini. Temperance is Sagittarian energy. Kind of a higher octave of Sagittarian energy. Sagittarius is not known for its patience, but Temperance is like the higher vibration of that. We have more Gemini in the Knight of Swords. King of Pentacles is Taurus. Pisces in the High Priestess. The Devil is Capricorn. This is your card, Libra. The Justice card is Libra. The Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. Aries in the Emperor. And more Aquarian energy in the King of Swords. So that's what I have for you. It's intense. I see what you're working through for the next couple of months. I'll be in the extended in a second, so I'll see you there. Otherwise, bye for now.